carved faces. The time of year was soon to come once more, when children would come knocking at the door. They would come to my house and ask for a treat, and at the door a carved face they would greet. I spent so long carving and decorating, and I hoped at least one person would be celebrating. But instead of joy, they were filled with fear. They did not appreciate my hard work, it was clear. I said to myself, a lesson must be taught. As I pointed a knife at them, at least I will have some carved faces for next year, I thought. The Aimbag. Every other week, there was this woman who was attached to a new man who owned a Porsche and treated her like they were her number one fans. Wherever she went, she carried an old worn-out bag. Nobody will ever know the contents, she would often brag. Some suspected she possessed a gun, and some believed she had a gift for her son. It was a mystery what she was hiding in the void of fabric. If we ever found out, I'm sure it would cause quite a panic. Until one day, she tripped and fell, and when a child saw the contents of the bag, she began to yell. Because what fell out was a dozen or so hands. The theory of a gun was beginning to sound quite bland. The woman quickly picked up the limbs and jumped into a carriage. She didn't know why people were shocked, as after all, these men had wanted her hand in marriage. The doctor's prescription. The doctor was a trustworthy man. He was a kind man and always took good care of his patients and always prescribed them the right medicine. Which was why everybody was shocked to find out that he had been arrested of committing the most heinous of crimes. Apparently, he had murdered several of his patients. It made it onto the TV news and everything. I had back issues and my back started hurting, so I went to get my prescribed tablets. Upon returning, the news had begun to describe how the doctor murdered their patients. In most cases, he killed them by using whatever sharp medical equipment he could find near him. However, he was experimenting with his last murder when he had been caught. This time, he was trying poison. Best hidden in pills used to relieve back pain. So I wrote a novella recently, and I really appreciated if oh god, how do I skip this? The link is in my bio, and yeah, it's called Life. So please check it out. Thank you. The monster. The creature smashed its way into the house. Its long, scaly body grinded against both walls of the corridor, knocking over tables, slicing paintings off the wall, and leaving marks the size of ravines in the carpet. A thick, black slime oozed from the creature's mouth and stained what was left on the carpet, like an impenetrable tar. Nobody had been able to see the monster clearly, and if they did, they never had the chance to recite what they saw. The beast patrolled further down the corridor until it had reached an old door. I could hear a grunt at the door behind me. It was clear that I had been found. A figure in the shadows. I worked long nights with no company. The museum was a lonely place with nobody to talk to. That was always the case until one day I heard a voice. I spent hours looking, but I could never find where it was coming from. Try as I might, I could not find a living soul. I often joked to myself that the wax figures in the rooms were secretly coming to life. The mysterious voice agreed that a wax figure could never come to life. The next morning, my dead body was found on the floor. No sign of an assailant, just a pile of melted wax on the floor from my candle. You're trapped! 4 friends went into an escape room. The challenges were difficult yet fun, and the room provided a good bonding experience. They had 1 hour to escape, otherwise they would be trapped forever. The hour came and passed, and the group had failed to complete all the tasks. They were expecting somebody to let them out anytime soon. And yet, nobody came. 4 friends went into an escape room, but none of them ever got out. Enter the tomb. The archaeologists believed they had found an ancient tomb. The locals had warned them of the dangers of breaking into such a sacred and powerful place. They did not listen. They marched to the site like a swarm of locusts and battered their way inside. They searched every nook and every cranny, but they could not find any sign of life. The whole place seemed to be empty. Had they entered quieter, I may not have been woken up, and they might have still been alive. And now, it is time for the scariest story of them all. A story so frightening, it will curl your toes and make your hair stand on end. This is the scariest story of them all. You have been warned. I call this story 2020.